Highfalutin about it.
I think we're going live.
I think this is amazing.
It looks live-ish. New technology. If it's spinning, is that good or bad?
You have no idea.
Should it
Maybe
be
it's
Oh, no, there we are. Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Holy.
Oh, the thing's red too.
The thing's
What's
red.
happening? Oh, it's happening. This is my first Facebook Live.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've never Facebook Live. I just don't usually do that kind of thing.
I
This will be
occasionally
great.
Instagram live for the show, like
have no
backstage
reason
and pre-show. I occasionally, I have pointed my phone at you during.
Without my consent.
Without your consent, I have broadcast you to all 140 something of
if
I
I
saw
can-
you's
You heard
followers.
it here.
If I can calibrate everything for one moment. Hi, it's Carcon Carne. I'm on Western Avenue, just south of Lawrence, in front of Garcia's restaurant. I have Kim, Jen, and Max in the car from I Saw You. We'll explain what I Saw You is, but first I should mention, this car is huge, right?
That's pretty roomy.
It's so nice, and I did not expect massage seats. Like,
Okay.
I didn't expect it to massage
Does it
my
massage?
back and leg.
That's not a feature, but it is a lovely Mazda CX-9 from the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Really not that far from here. If you just take Western North, head on over to 1015 Chicago Avenue. That's where this car is from. It's super comfortable. Look at the technology on this thing. There's a damn TV on the dashboard.
Pop-up screen, that is
The
very
pop-up
sharp.
screen is totally badass. Plenty of room back there
Oh, yeah.
for
Sure.
Jen and Max. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
spread out, make
Very
yourself comfortable. We're going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
It's like luxury.
Cradling my butt.
Thank you. It's like luxury. Absolutely right.
Thanks for putting us in luxury.
Yeah.
You're worth it.
We're usually in a dive bar.
You are,
Yeah.
and we'll get to that. You are usually in a dive bar. I Saw You. We'll get to that. Mazda, Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue. Are you ready, I Saw You team, to eat tacos in a car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trick question. All right, I'm going to move this closer to your mouth. So, as previously mentioned, the three of you are part of I Saw You. I know what the elevator pitch is of I Saw You. Why don't you tell me what it is?
Well, I would say I Saw You is a show that's been running in one form or another since 2006. It's the creation of a couple of guys
Since
named...
before the recession. That's how long this has been running.
Before the recessions, when W was president, and
That's
people
right.
used to, the material, the show, is made up of real personal ads from the greater Chicagoland area, and these pieces kind of these ads fall into three categories. One is like a missed connection, so kind of a stranger on the train or a moment that didn't quite happen.
Hence the I Saw You.
Hence the I Saw You. That's the name of the show. And then there's like someone seeking someone else, and people kind of put themselves out there and say who they are and what they're looking for and what they're interested in a romantic partner. And the third section is what's X matches, and the X stands for many X's in a row. And that's where, as Jen always says it so well in her intros, people post their filthy wishes. People post their filthy wishes. And they get, the X matches, people kind of get right to it. Skip all the foreplay of like, hey, what is your name? And go right for it. So we perform these.
So for instance,
actors.
like if I said, bear looking for rough trade.
Ooh, that's
Right, that's a good headline. That would encourage us to read
would
further.
It's all about the clicks, bro.
That's going to the show, and it's and people will write more interesting titles. Like when we're hunting through and looking for these, and when Mark used to look for them, that gets your attention, and will that get somebody's attention when we perform?
So before we proceed, before you read some of these personals, the where and when?
This is first and third Wednesdays at Town Hall Pub, 3340 North Halsted. It's at 8 p.m. It costs $5 cash at the door. First and third Wednesdays.
Really, Max, it's a value at any price.
I think so. We haven't, you mentioned before the recession, we haven't changed our prices since 2006.
Because we care about our
That's
people.
right.
Exactly. It was $5 then, and it's $5 now.
So here's the question. Do we start eating tacos now? Do you want to do some of this in the car before you eat? Can you perform on an empty?
This car is so nice. I don't want to spit tacos all over it.
But really, it's all up to you, baby.
Yeah, you're running this
yeah, it's
ship.
your show.
What you need, James?
Give us a little amuse-bouche, maybe, before we... Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, and actually, I'm dying to ask this question. You're reading personals. I would think that the material might run dry at some point, because hasn't everyone kind of moved off the idea of posting personals?
No, people actually still do that. It's crazy. I think that a lot of it is people that maybe aren't able to talk to people when they see them right off the bat. So if they have this encounter, it's, this I should have said that thing to you, and I regret not saying that thing to you, and so now is going to be my last ditch effort to do that.
A Hail Mary, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. I always find it funny that in a large city like Chicago, where you could find anyone, presumably, that is into the same stuff that you're into, a lot of times people are just not super comfortable with, talking to people, so they're able to sort of list their needs out without any judgment in hopes that somebody is into the same thing that they're into. So yeah, it's surprisingly
it's also specific.
Yeah.
So for example, let's say you wanted somebody to piss on you. You don't sit down. For example, you don't walk up to a bar, sit down, and the first person who buys you a drink go, "So you like to piss on people?" This is it's an advertisement for people's fantasies.
Sure.
And their deepest, darkest fears. There are people on here who are married and are looking to cheat.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's just it's intense and it's all real. We can't we say it all the time in the show. We can't make this up.
I feel like just by what you described with the being pissed on, we're going to cross some new barriers tonight. We're going to break some new ground for Car Con Carne.
For you, yes. You will cross new barriers. This is just another Wednesday for us.
So it's probably, at this point I should mention, Car Con Carne is not suitable for all listeners and viewers. If extreme content offends or bothers you, please consider trying something else right now. Like perhaps the Goldbergs.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good.
It's wholesome.
It's not bad writing.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gone.
Good. All right, so give us something. Give us and set it up. So this is, I saw you. If we went to go see you, this might be something. You're not making any of this up. This is all verbatim text read aloud.
Oh, you can't make this stuff up, James.
No.
And we wouldn't.
And you wouldn't. Why would you?
I saw you looking at powdered sugar at Whole Foods. Who does that? So today, September 21st, at around 7 p.m. at the Whole Foods located on Halsted, you were really studying the powdered sugar like it had the answer to who shot JFK. Powdered sugar is just sugar ground really fine with cornstarch. It's like $1 a bag at any other grocery store. It really made me the opposite of wet. You were totally fuckable. Please don't tell me that you honestly need 5 minutes to study which bag of powdered sugar to purchase for God knows what you're going to do with it. Does buying cheese take you like an hour? Would picking out an apple, would that probably kill you? Seriously, has anyone seen this guy? When? September 21st. Where? The Whole Foods on Halsted. I saw a man, I am a woman.
Here's my question to you, Max. It was misleading at first. You read that voice in a very angry male voice. It was a little deceptive there.
That is true.
As soon as you said it didn't make me wet, or the opposite of wet.
It's like, oh, that's...
That was like a M. Night Shyamalan twist.
That's just the sort of plot twist we like to throw out. No, I try not to do like a girl voice for like every girl piece that you do. And we also, that's another thing we do, is we fly all over the place with genders or anything that's anybody. Any piece can go to any person. We can't just like, oh, the girls get all the girls and the guys get all the guys, and this guy gets all the mean ones and this guy gets all the nice ones. That we just, anything for anybody is usually how we assign things.
At this point in the conversation, I do want to say we should do this every week. I'm already having fun.
I'm glad to hear that.
I love that. I'm just going to quit my job, and this is going to be my...
Can we just live in
Me
the
too.
car?
Awesome.
The show has regulars, and they've been a large part of our success with changing up the show and doing different stuff every time, and having additional wonderful performers besides the three of us. That helps. That helps get repeat viewership. That helps a lot.
Yeah, so it's a rotating cast. So we have 10 performers that will rotate pieces. So it's different cast and different pieces. Every time you're seeing the show, it's going to be different. So
and we pick new content every time the show goes
love
up.
that.
And we only see the pieces an hour before the show. So we get to Town Hall Pub, and the book, is all the pieces are there for us. We each get 20 minutes with the book, and then we decide, real quick how we're gonna do, or we don't, and it's just a surprise to us when we get up there, how we're going to do each piece. But it's that's what keeps it really fresh, is that it's new to us too.
Yeah.
Before you do another piece, have you, in your 10 plus years of doing this, run across someone who said, "Oh my God, you read my thing on stage"?
Yeah.
a couple times.
Yeah.
That's happened.
That happened to me, and
That sounds really awkward.
It's so funny because it happened to Clint.
Yes.
And it was the one time it happened to Clint. There was a bartender, right? It was the bartender.
It's happened twice to Clint. Yes.
Oh, right.
It was the bartender of the place we were doing the show. It was at the Elbow Room. Where we were like, at one point we were opening for bands. I'm not sure why, but
I wish more comedy type stuff would open up for bands. Break it up a little bit. I'm all for that.
We opened up for Big Frida, and that was
we did
not
share
okay.
a bill with Big Frida one time. That
nice.
was
They did not appreciate our comedy at that moment.
Interesting.
The bartender was one that Ann does, an old classic where she goes, the pirate wants you to surrender your booty, and it was just a charming, well written piece that the guy wasn't too like gross or anything, but it was just a guy who wants a girlfriend. It wasn't anything mean or scary. And when did it happen to you?
It happened to me a couple years ago, and I've been doing this show for such a long time that everyone always asked me that question. I was always like, no. Because I really wanted it to happen, and I did this one piece, and thankfully I didn't make it like silly. We try really hard. And I think that the integrity of the show is that we really don't talk down to these people. It's not like step right up and look at the freaks and not commenting or mocking them in any way. But thankfully, but sometimes we do, silly voices or whatever in what our interpretation of the ad is. And so thankfully this time I did not do like anything silly because it was just a really well written, smart piece. And she came up to me afterwards and was like, hey, that was really good. Can I buy you a beer? And I was like, absolutely.
There it is.
And then like within 10 minutes into the conversation, she was like, so, you did my piece. I was like, what? And then we ended up just talking the rest of the night and having a great time. So yeah,
I love that.
I was really glad that, and it was a misconnection. So she was looking for, she had met someone who, struck her fancy and wanted to see if maybe she could needle in a haystack, find that person again, and so I was very happy that it happened.
Okay, how about another reading?
Cool.
Go, baby.
Okay. Looking for Lauren Yu, American Airlines flight attendant. Looking for Lauren Yu, flight attendant, American Airlines. Looking for Lauren Yu, first class flight attendant for American Airlines on flight 1551 from Boston Logan to Chicago O'Hare at 12:05 p.m. March 15th, 2018. If you are Lauren Yu or know someone who knows her, I would like her to contact me if she should want. I had the good fortune to meet Lauren Yu on above-referenced flight in first class. I was seated in 5F and also spoke with her in the galley while I stretched for a moment. I was completely taken with her, and she, rather than my seat on the plane, defined first class. She was reserved yet quick and charming, great people skills, engaging to speak with, and as graceful as anyone I have ever known. There is an excellent chance that I noticed her far more than she noticed me, and I can handle that reality. I would be a fool not to try and contact her in the event that is not the case. She may live anywhere, but mentioned she lived in Jacksonville, Florida, or somewhere in Florida, and has worked as a topless bouncer. She may live in Boston or Chicago, but I suppose could live anywhere. Key words: Boston, Logan Airport, Chicago O'Hare, Jacksonville, first class, American Airlines, topless bouncer, flight 1551, seat 5F, stewardess, flight attendant, Dubuque, Iowa, graceful, gracious, charming, reserved, buttoned down, wild side, witty, humor, professional, thoughtful, beautiful, captivating, energy, vivacious.
Oh, God.
I could go on. Where? American Airlines Flight 1551. I saw Lauren Yu.
I want you to make me a deal. From now on, I want you to pronounce every word that has a W in it with the same amount of gusto, the where.
This is my favorite thing.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Also, you just underscored something that is a reality with some of these personal ads. They can be kind of creepy because flight attendants don't really seek that kind of attention.
They do not.
So that's kind of awful and uncomfortable. They're just doing their gigs and they're trapped in that canister floating through the sky.
Right. They're being nice because it's their job.
Right.
Yeah. Which is why I love when he says, it's possible
Yeah.
that I noticed her more than she noticed me, and then I can handle that. That's my favorite part of it, and that's kind of what sums up the whole show in a way. Like,
That
hey,
always gets a huge laugh.
yeah, like this is like I said before, it's a needle in a haystack. I mean, I love the idea of like this unrequited love. There's so many of these are unrequited loves that they just. I felt I couldn't say it in the moment, but I so felt compelled to, try to find this person again in case there is something.
Yes.
I love that idea.
All right, Kim, how do you feel about busting one open?
Yeah.
Before we share chorizo and El Pastor and chicken tacos or pollo tacos if you prefer.
To the guy who yelled at me for biking on North Avenue on Friday night. Number one, you are a fucking asshole. If it makes you so angry that you have to stop and yell at me because I was biking 5 blocks without a front light, which was just stolen while my bike was parked, you have some serious problems. Number two, nice Transformer sticker on your shitty black Mustang. Number three, nice dumb tattoos on your shitty arm sleeve. Number four, you are a gigantic meathead dumbass. When June 17th, where North Avenue, I am a man. I saw a big stupid dumb man.
I don't want you to read anything polite for the rest of the night. I really...
Oh, I have a nice one though.
You're so good
And
at
I'm
that.
done though.
But you came out of the
That's
gate
it.
with that guy.
Yeah,
We had a chance to plan this out.
You buried the lead.
yeah. No, the lead's right there. All right, so
Cyclists will vent their aggression. We've run into that theme a few times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
all right, so I'm going to be strategic here. I'm going to stop the Facebook Live after we show the tacos. I'm going to continue recording. So to hear more, I encourage you to listen to the fully produced podcast episode on CarclinCarney.com, also on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, etc., iHeart, all those places you hear podcasts. Car Clin Carne is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Let's show off some tacos before we wave goodbye to the kids at home.
The tacos.
I don't even know why I'm joking. I paid for these.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't mean like that. Like, here you go, Garcias. Here's your plug.
We work for tacos.
It was full of happy people when we walked through.
Full of
that.
happy people.
Oh, it's really happy.
Here's a representative. Oh, there's the camera. Oh, this.
Oh, look at the juice.
Jen, you're right. This is going to be.
I'm going to ruin this car with tacos.
We should have brought
Like, you can't even touch this without making a mess.
You can't.
It has a
did this.
protective force field of grease.
You did this, James.
I'm making
did
a mess already just by looking at it. I feel like.
We got 2,000 napkins, right?
We no. We may finish recording and we may eat this outside of the car because I'm scared of ruining this lovely Mazda CX-9 from the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue. Thank you for watching on Facebook Live. I'm going to figure out how to stop this new technology, which is lovely. Hang on. Here we go.